A devastating blow for a soap-making company on the Eastern Shore. A fire this week burned their entire operation to the ground. I'm joined now by Leigh McFarland with the Soap Company of Nova Scotia in Sherbrooke. So you lost everything.
Every single thing, yeah.
So by some miracle, I even heard my phone, because I don't usually, and I answered the call, and it was Mom letting me know that there was a fire. And so I jumped in the car and came down, and I'm only a couple of minutes away, and as I pulled in the driveway, I could see the fire licking out the window at the propane tanks that were there. And Mom was standing in the front yard. I was like, I think we should probably get away from the propane tanks, and we called 911, and they agreed. And as soon as Mom kind of had that realization, she was off. I got to go find her near the
scurried
barn.
off to the barn.
And really, it was just, it continued from there. They recommended we get as far away as we could. So we went towards water, which in hindsight meant we were a little bit stuck here and had to watch everything happening, but also meant that we were able to offer some advice about what was inside, like oil and lye and things, to hopefully help the firefighters stay safe and make the right decisions about how to fight what they were fighting.
So why I wanted to be specifically here is Cherry Hill is where my great-grandmother's family was until the Great Fire of the turn of the previous century. And what happened then, and this story has just inspired me so much, is there was a really ginormous forest fire that went many, many miles. And my great-great-grandmother sent my Aunt Hattie, who actually was the matriarch to the house where the soap company started, down to the beach with her little brother, Locke, so that they could get in the ocean to put the water over them, because that's how bad the fire was, and that was the way that they were going to be saved, and they were saved. But then my great-great-grandmother, her husband was away at sea at the time. He was a ship captain, and she went back to get his captain's papers, because that was like his license to make money to support the family, and she didn't return. And so then the next day they went looking for her, and apparently she was found in the well, and she was alive. And the fact that she was alive, and I've told that story to so many people, the resilience of these folks, that they faced this giant forest fire and they found a way to survive. And then apparently winter was coming on, and then shortly after that everybody gathered together and they were able to build their house, which is still standing. It's known as the Lambourne House down at the turn coming up from Port Hilford Beach.
Leigh made a point to impress on me just how important the water here is to her family. It represents far more than just a scenic view or a summer vacation spot. It's a destination of the heart, and one that holds a great legacy for her. So much so that the building they moved into after the fire still holds the same name, Sanctuary Shore.
The gift boxes for hotels and stuff like that they give to just their prestige clients and stuff. She wants to have a meeting with me sometime this week, either today or tomorrow. We're going to touch base about adding our product into her gift boxes. So,
since the move to Sherbrooke, the Soap Company of Nova Scotia has experienced a resurgence. They invited me to come be a part of the process and peek behind the curtain on what turned out to be a pretty eventful day. Anna was busy making a batch of the company's finest, and seeing them all in action was a real treat for me. The smells were great, the laughter was constant, and there was a genuine atmosphere of kindness in the air. From this view, the fire from 2 years prior appeared to be nothing but a bump in the road, a starting point that they've built from to make something greater. Soapco 2.0 is headed places, but Leigh and Anna still remember where it all started.
So moving into Sherbrooke was a big leap that we never, ever, ever anticipated. It was never part of the plan. I know at one point you were in the driveway and thinking, I'd love to own that building. But for me, like, it was never part of the let's move the soap company away from Cherry Hill at all. And so for me, the only con, there's two. I have to drive 15 minutes now.
In a beautiful place.
I know, along the river watching the eagles fish. And then the second one would be, I genuinely miss pulling up behind our old factory in my dad's Jeep,
drinking my coffee.
Gonna make me cry.
I'm gonna cry. Overlooking my favorite harbor, whether it's cloudy or sunny or sunset or sun, it didn't matter. Like I miss that 15 minutes in the morning of basically meditation.
So that's SoapCo, but then there's also Sanctuary Shore.
Yeah.
So when we burnt down November 21st, 2021, that was 8 days after our grand opening for Sanctuary Shore. And as it turns out, there's a whole lot of people that moved into the area here that we didn't even know were here. And so
And they didn't know we were there.
And they didn't know we were there. So from a business perspective, being able to get that food that we're talking about and those other services and things like, I've seen grown men stand in front of our fridge and jump up and down with glee because there was Dutchman's Dragon's Breath cheese in there, right? So things like that, being able to bring things like that to the community. There's just so many more people who are living closer to here. And so we've had folks coming here all the way from, part way up toward Antigonish and Musquodoboit Harbor on down.
But the soap company's reach is now well beyond Musquodoboit Harbor, even though you can still find Leigh selling products from the Sherbrooke Farmers Market at her 3x5 stand. Her team is working hard to support a loyal customer base that extends beyond the Canadian border and across the continent. Seeing what she's built, feeling the love her family shares, I can't help but think to myself how proud her Aunt Hattie would be looking down on the same shore the family has called home for generations. The resilience in this family can't be burnt out, where water is refuge and the shore a sanctuary.
And so it's wonderful. All these folks like you guys moving here from away have chosen to make St. Mary's your home. And so many people have done that. And so folks have come here from places where there were services and are kind of shocked that there aren't as many services as they would like. So there's lots of opportunity here to grow businesses. Yeah. And the more that we have, the more that people will come. And there's enough for all of us.
Absolutely.
No question.